What's going on, everybody? This Childish. We're back at it again with the next Monster Balance update. Okay. Compto is hitting us with a little bit of a surprise. I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty shocked to say the least, but I will gladly take it. Now, if you guys haven't seen on our channel, we don't really just go through the list top to bottom. We focus on the ones to watch. In my humble opinion, which ones are the ones that are going to have the biggest impact in the meta. And as always, I want you guys to go ahead and put your guys' list on the ones to watch. Which one of these units are the top 3 units that you feel are going to have the most impact here? Now, just to kind of give you a heads up here, the ones that I'm going to be focused on are the ones that are not super unattainable. Obviously, Nat 5s are super hard to get, but the LD Nat 5s, come on. There's like 2% of the people that are watching this video have it, so I'm not going to focus on that. Spoiler alert, sorry for everybody that has a Light and Dark Phoenix. Love the changes, but again, those are not going to have... they may have an impact on the meta, but they're not going to be too relevant because we're just not going to see a lot of them. But who knows, right? Maybe now people will start dusting them out. They've been hiding them for so long. Who knows? But either way, let's get right into it here. First one on the list for my top 3 units I'm going to look at, and this is in no particular order. I'm going to go with Miss Helena. I know I sound a little bit biased because you guys know I'm a big Helena user, but the second skill in the human form, Swaying Flame, has the added effect to absorb the enemy's attack bar by 10%. The reason why I'm pretty excited about this one is in her human form, when she critically hits, she gains 25% attack bar already. So again, when we think about the attack bar manipulation that can be had from being in the human form, now having the absorption for the enemy's attack bar, that's going to make it just a tad bit easier to get to that full attack bar. Now, I know that it's going to be kind of interesting here because when we think about Guild War and Siege, we only have 3 units versus 4, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get that full attack bar. We basically have to crit on everybody and absorb from everybody. We do get a little bit of we do get a better shot when we're in PvP, right? If we're doing like RTA or something like that. But generally speaking, when you're going into RTA, 50% of her benefit, that 50% reduction on the unicorn form, you can't really take advantage of it. But because of the fact that her mechanic allows her to cycle through her skills a little bit more, I do feel like there could be a little bit of an impact there. Again, AoE defense break with a high chance of having your attack bar completely full, and the enemy's attack bar absorption, obviously anything's going to help. 10% is a little bit on the lower end, but again, just being able to cycle through your skills just a little bit better. Doesn't put her in that upper echelon of the Deanna, but it obviously helps. I feel like it definitely gives her a boost and gives her a reason to be used, especially if you're playing around with the composition that they're not heavily reliant on immunity. You can take advantage of this. Obviously, a violence that's going to be the best way to go here, but for me, if I had the chance, I'd go violent. If I didn't have that violent set, which I don't, I would probably go to spare, just because I'm going to be able to cycle through those skills a little bit better. But I don't even have to spare right now. I'm using a Swift Broken set on her, so even though it's a little bit rough, still, like I said it before, it's just going to be easier to kind of go through those skills and get a couple of free stuns and some extra defense breaks. So I'm pretty excited to see people go ahead and use it. Again, it's been kind of on the back burner. People use it, but just obviously not too much. But I think there's a little bit more of a reason to do it. I'm glad they stuck with 10%, while I would want it to have a little bit more. I think that's just the right amount to make an argument to get that full attack bar and potentially start using them and cycling them through. So it's pretty cool. Next one up that I'm going to take a look at, which is going to kind of surprise you because I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. The Light Paladin. This one here, Cry of Provocation, added effect that instantly recovers your turn when the skill is used. So if you guys are not familiar with this, this is a 6-turn skill that gets reduced to a 4-turn cooldown that provides a 2-turn AoE provoke. Now this kind of seems pretty interesting, right? You guys are like, what the heck? Light Paladin is not going to be in the meta. Like, what are you talking about that? Well, when you think about the aspect of some kind of added violent proc or additional turn and whatnot, the way how I see it is for any unit that gets some opportunity to like recycle their skill, that's an opportunity to reset the violent runes. And so if you have violent runes on this unit, this is going to make it even more of a reason to chain through its skills, right? So having that ability, and when you think about it, a 4-turn max, maxed out skill with the instantly recovering the skill, I mean, doesn't that seem like it's gonna essentially bring it down to a 3-turn cooldown, which you guys already know 3-turn cooldowns on natural 5 stars, we're having some of the craziest kits out there, could be pretty darn beneficial. And so again, just kind of similar to the Helena, just that aspect of being able to cycle through your skills a little bit easier. And then of course, even though the Cry Provocation is not, it's not a stun or a freeze, so it's not going to set them back on their skill cooldowns, right? Certain abilities that leave the opponents incapacitated, right, like the stuns or whatnot, is not going to allow their skill cooldowns to reduce, right? So when you think about the skill and having the 2-turn provoke, even if the opponent violent procs against a lucky violent proc, he can't like violent proc, and if it's like a Villagew's Sanctuary into it and cleanse everybody, right? So again, it still keeps the opponent locked down, and because of the fact that you know, the Light Paladin does have that passive heal, stunning mechanic, the invulnerability with the cleanse. I mean, it's a really unique kit. I like it, and I feel like some people will mess around with it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Again, don't hit me on this one, because this is like, you know, just kind of my personal opinion, but I do feel like with the recent change, I think it is gonna get played around. That it's gonna be weird. I'll see it more in Guild Wars. I think it's gonna be making more of an impact in Guild Wars than like RTA, but I think it's gonna be used a little bit more. We're gonna see it a little bit more. Okay, next one up. Gotta give a shout out to the Water Monkey King. I know a lot of people were pretty excited about that. Alter Ego attack, beneficial effect, removal ray. This is something that we complained about quite a bit. Just really wasn't able to keep up with other natural 5-star counterparts, most notably Ethna. Ethna had a 100% beneficial effect removal. This one had just 50%. So now they brought Shihu on board, bringing them all the way up to 100%. And so they also improved the second skill, not just reducing the attack bar, right, but being able to absorb the attack bar. So you're going to get a little bit of attack bar back if they are under a harmful effect here. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. They have to be under a harmful effect. I don't know what to think about that, but the fact is that the third skill, you know, there's a lot of compositions that people use to essentially, you know, get that first turn, remove the will, remove the shield, whatever they got, you know, remove that immunity, so that they can do some type of you know, crucial skill that allows them to just kind of silence or really you know, allow the opponent to just kind of be disabled there for a minute. Like, you know, when I think about Okeanos, a really good monster, being able to remove the beneficial effect and reset the skill, having somebody like Shihu to be able to remove those beneficial effects will open up your offense to do a couple of things that you would like to do, depending on what you're trying to, you know, try to create in your composition. So it can definitely open it up. Meta wise, I think it's going to be a little bit more useful. Again, that skill is just one skill. If you throw it on the Despair set, you're obviously going to have an opportunity to stun with that third skill. The AoE aspect, having a chance to stun with Despair is obviously going to be beneficial. And he already has a stun mechanic on the first skill, so there's a lot of ways of crowd controlling your opponent. So again, will this have a huge impact on the meta? It's hard to say. I feel like it's going to have a big impact on the meta, but that's just me. Again, throwing it out there. I know you guys are going to criticize me on that. This is just my personal opinion. Got to put the disclaimer out there so many times. Like, this is just how I feel about it. This is just how I feel about it, okay? Those are the ones that I wanted to take a look at for the PvP. PvE wise, I really am excited for the Water Assassin Sela. As you guys know, the Death Verdict, the skill that's going to provide the branding for 2 turns, now has the opportunity to silence for 2 turns as well with a 75% chance. So this is going to be pretty unique. PvE side, there's been a little bit of talk if the silence aspect will work on the mini boss or the final boss. I don't believe it will, but again, it just has even more utility for you to have a little bit more fun in PvP if you want to play around with it. I feel like it's going to have the most impact in PvP. Rift of Worlds is where I'm looking at here. Obviously, a variety of element Rift Beach, you can take advantage of this. You always want a solid defense breaker when it comes to those groggy states and Rift Beasts. When it comes to Rift of Worlds, obviously you're looking for certain harmful effects. The defense break, the branding, the attack bar manipulation, it's super strong, but there also is quite a handful of branders out there that people use. That being said, now that this one has the branding and the silence, this gives you, I think, a little bit more of a reason to use it in Rift of Worlds because of the fact that it gives you another harmful effect. And as you guys know, the Water Kung Fu Girl, Zhao Lin, is one of the few units out there, but more popular ones that they do a certain amount of damage based on the amount of harmful effects that it is. So when you have yourself, that skill landed down, and then three teams, all of you guys using Zhao Lin's, I think that's going to make a nice little improvement as far as just overall damage that you're going to be able to do there. So really cool to see. The only thing that I wanted to point out, and I kind of leave this at the very end, because you guys know I can't just skip it and not talk about it. Miss Juno, the Fire Oracle. Okay, now my biggest ones by far were the Unicorn, the Water Monkey King, and the Light Paladin. The Nine-Tailed Fox, I think I like some of the changes that have been made, but I don't think that's going to crush the meta. Fire Oracle, the reason why I left that one as last, because I feel like she's like a wild card now. I really don't know what to think. As you guys see, originally it had the removing of the harmful effect when you start out with 2 or more harmful effects, and it recovers your HP by 50%, and the allies, or the HP of the allies by 10% for each removed harmful effect, right? Now it removes all harmful effects with any harmful effects, so at least one harmful effect, and then the recovering of your allies for 10%. So from what I understand here, this one it's not going to allow you to heal anymore. So when I think about the current meta, right now, I feel like in the lower end meta, obviously you don't see this used all too much, but people do play around with it. I have heard a little bit of talk when it comes to Rush Hour, people incorporated this in some of their compositions, but that was the previous Juno. With this one now, what are people going to do? Generally speaking, your opponent would focus on the other units and then leave Juno for last, where it seems like with this recent change, now that she can't heal, it almost seems like you just want to kind of take her out, right away. But is that going to be the best approach? Do you focus on her and let the other units that are going to be crippling you as well do what they need to do? Or do you leave her for last as well? There was a lot of talk in the community as far as, is the ally heal going to help her out? Is it not? It says HP of your allies, but some people thought maybe it's her getting the heal as well as the allies. So kind of a little bit of confusion going on. And we already know from Gom to Us, there's sometimes the wording can be a little deceptive or can be a little misunderstood. When we think it's one thing, it could be the other. So again, this one's kind of up in the air about me. It's hard to say if this is going to have a huge impact on the meta, because simply put, I don't know if I really consider this a buff or enough. It's kind of up in the air. So again, let me know what you guys think about that. I know a lot of you are Juno users out there that have been keeping it in storage for quite some time. Maybe with the recent changes, this might motivate you to get it out of there and potentially play around with it. But here's a question that I want to ask you guys and throw it out there, because I think this is going to be something that the community really wants to hear. Considering the current change in the Fire Oracle, how would you incorporate it in your defense, or how would you incorporate it in some of your teams? What kind of new things or new strategies you think could be implemented due to this recent change? That's what I'm curious to see. What you guys think about that. I'll kind of leave my opinion for a later day. I'm probably going to be streaming tonight, so I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of feedback on that on twitch.tv/childish402 # shameless plug here. But either way, that's going to be it, guys. Again, those are going to be my ones to watch, the ones that I feel like are going to have a decent amount of impact in the meta. Let me know what you guys think about that. As always, I'm pretty excited to see your opinions. There's really nothing. I'm looking again to see if there's anything I missed. Like, while I like a couple of the changes that they're making in the Sylphs, the Branded Magicians, the Parade, nothing sticks out to me like, oh my god, this is game breaking, right? So again, that's where I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I don't want to make a huge video. That takes like 30 minutes, for whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. I know it gets a little repetitive seeing so many different YouTubers and streamers talk about this, but again, we all have different opinions about things, so it's kind of nice to get different perspectives, and that's why I'm looking to hear back from you. I really want to know what you guys think about this, okay? That's going to be it, guys. It's your boy Childish from ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and I will see you guys tonight at twitch.tv/childish402 at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.